Welcome back to yet another 213 Crispy video. And today we are going to do the part 2 to the tuning DLC. Part 1 we're going to do a quick recap on. We had discovered that there was some new body panels that you're able to purchase for some of the vehicles. I don't believe it's for every one. I have not looked into that enough yet. But we chose to work on the Tycoon because there was some new body parts that we were able to purchase, and they have already been installed. So new headlights, a new blacked out front bumper, a new hood, new rear tail lights that have the red blacked out, and some blacked out rear bumpers. What I went ahead and did last night on stream, so this would have been one of those stream-only exclusives that you would have got to watch if you watched me live, was build another one. Now, this particular one is fully finished, 100% restoration, back to the original. So there's nothing fancy-dancy, no performance parts. This is 100% stock. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because when I finish building the engine for this one, then we're going to put the two to each other and test them out and do drive testings and everything, and we're going to see what the difference is between a stock one and a fully modified with performance parts. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. We're going to start with building ourselves a new and improved engine with all tuning DLC parts. So let's get started. There are a ton of parts that we're able to do, but they are notifying you based on this little icon and the percentage of the horsepower gain that you're going to get from that part. So replacing this camshaft, we get 2.75% horsepower ratings just for a simple camshaft. Now, I might be missing a few parts because when I built the other one last night, I was half asleep. So I might have scavenged some parts from this engine to make the other one because I happen to have it in stock. So I'm not for sure if I do or if I don't have all the parts, but we're going to find out. And the game didn't save. If you remember on our first video, that the black car was actually repainted to like a maroon color, real dark, real deep burgundy color. For some reason the game didn't save, so I had to take the engine back out. So again, this is another performance part. So I had to take the engine back out again last night and strip it all the way back down to get ready for this video for this morning. So, okay, I want the performance pistons. I don't know why there's not performance rings, but I didn't make the game. Performance piston. Another performance piston. Wrong one. I mean, the good thing about doing it this way, no matter what I do, I'll be able to at least reuse these parts on other builds. So it's not like they're going to go to waste. And that's one of the nice advantages of doing a 100% full restoration, is because your parts are still new. So, like in this case, I'm tearing one apart to rebuild it. Like, I don't have enough rod caps. I can already tell you that right now. Okay. So let's go get some rod caps real quick. Other than that, that's about all I did last night. I did not tinker with exploring too much because I was trying to save that content for today's video. And I don't want to spoiler myself or to give fake judgments Because to me, that's the realism of my reviews for these games, is I give you guys my 100% honest feeling at the time that I'm dealing with playing it. Because like I'm playing it right now, and this is the first time that I'm building an engine with performance parts. Even though I did it yesterday on live on Twitch, that doesn't mean that I cheated and did it off camera, basically. Because no, I did not do that. That's not what I want to do. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the most fair and honest review that I can. And that's just me. I mean, I'm always that person that likes to help other people out, especially new people if they don't understand like the game, how it works, or if they have some questions about a build or a part. If I don't know, I'll at least attempt to try to find out real quick. That's one thing that I kind of say that I strive to help out the community, especially new gamers. Like I had a gentleman yesterday on my live stream ask about if the game's worth purchasing, if he's wanting to learn more about cars. And apparently he knows minimal to nothing about them, but he was interested in purchasing the game solely to help understand how a car works. And I told him, I said, I think that you'll get a concept of how certain parts function, or how they operate, and how to do some basic repairs. I just don't think that you're going to get a full realism due to the fact of the limitations on the game. Like, for example, like radiator hoses and electrical wiring, and just the limitations on like fitment, being able to get, for example, a starter out of a car. You can get a starter out of a car, or even, let's just say, this alternator. To get that alternator off, if this engine's fully inside of a car, it's going to take you a couple hours to get access to it, because it's in such a pain in the butt location. And that's just part of working on cars. Did I put the right power steering pump on? I don't even remember now. Yes, I'm still fighting my cold, so unfortunately, I apologize for that. Power steering pump, where are you? No, I put the wrong power steering pump on. Thanks for catching that, guys. So, let's tear this back apart real quick. A couple pieces, no big deal. And usually the part's pretty obvious if it's a performance part, so you can tell by looking at this alternator. That alternator does not look normal. That fuel filter does not look normal. What I mean by normal is comparing it to the normal part. So the normal part just has that dull finish, where the performance parts have usually an anodized coloring or chrome finish. They look better. Not saying that they're better, but they do have a different finish, so that you know it's a performance part. Same thing with the heads. You can tell the heads are nice and shiny, and they have that anodized red on the valve springs. Exhaust manifold is going to have one, and those are chrome. Let's check out the spark plugs next. I know there are some special spark plugs, and they are red. Last of that. So let's zoom in up here, and we're going to put some push rods in. I don't believe there were any special ones. Let's double check. I don't believe there was, but let's double check. So we'll go back home, tuning shop, and we're looking for valve. Yep, no, didn't think so. Now, what would be kind of nice is if you'd be able to modify an engine. For example, like this particular one, there are superchargers that are mounted on top of this engine. It'd be nice if it gave you the option to, let's say, I want to put a supercharger in this car, or I want to make it turbocharged. It'd be kind of nice that you could tweak some settings and modify for said performance. So let's say I wanted to throw twin turbos on this engine. Why couldn't I? Like, that's my question. Because in realistic world, you can. You have that flexibility. But with this mod, well, it's not a mod, it's a release pack. And it was originally supposed to be for the part of the game. They just held off on actually releasing the tuning feature of the DLC. It's free to get, so would I suggest it for anybody to get? Yeah, I would. I don't have nothing against it so far. And maybe my computer's running a tiny bit slower when I start using certain features, but it's so minimal. I have yet to see an actual performance, a 100% performance difference. I just, like, loading the catalog, for example, just takes a little bit longer, and that's, I think, because they opened up more channels, like the performance parts and the body parts, and that's to be expected, because the game does not like having a ton of parts anyway. Just like if you ever watch me go to the junkyard and watch me go parts picking, you'll understand that by the time I come back from the junkyard, my computer just takes forever to load. And I don't think it's my computer, I just think it's the game, because of the amount of parts that it's trying to process is not normal. I mean, a normal person's not going to go to the junkyard and come back with $10,000 worth of junk parts, or to say that's 200 parts. A normal person might go to the junkyard, buy a handful of parts, or they're looking for, let's just say, one build. They may come back with 20 parts. That's probably on a good day. So I don't think they took that into consideration whenever they were doing their scripting on the game. But again, that's just a minimal complaint that I would have. It's just, it is what it is. That's how I look at it. Uh-oh. Are you alright? Okay. So we'll put our valve covers on, even though they do not have any performance covers. I don't understand that one. You'd think that they would have came up with some like chrome or anodized red heads. I guess they're just trying to keep the part count down, maybe. I don't know. That's probably would be my expectations on why they didn't do it. Yeah, you're not going to get a performance difference, but it at least gives you a physical appearance difference. So, we'll see. They might come out with more. I don't know. I honestly don't. New distributor, new rotor, a new cap, new wires, new ignition coil system, new clips all the way around. Okay. I think we're about finished with the engine. throw on our new awesomely pretty chrome and anodized red carburetors. And put our base on. Unfortunately, you do have to put the base on, which I hate covering them up because they look so pretty. But I guess you can still see them. Now, compare this engine here that has some color to it, which I kind of like, honestly. I mean, it'd be nice if, like I said, the valve covers, they had maybe even just chrome, something different than that aluminum, because that begs for attention on that engine. Compare that to the stock, like all bare aluminum. You see what I'm talking about. You can tell, like, the heads have really no color. The headers are just that, like, anodized. I don't want to say they're spray painted, but they have that high temperature coating on it. The carburetors are basic. Air filter is just your basic yellow filter. It's just bare metal, basically. Where you can tell that this engine looks better. So let's go ahead and take this off of the stand. And we are going to go ahead and install it into our black car. So we're going to go to car lift B. And we are going to install new motor. Yes, apparently I installed the motor with the engine, or with the hood closed. Who would have thought you could do that? Let's get this out of the way. Open this up. But you see what I mean by how when you open the hood, you can tell that there's something different. You can tell that some stuff's nice and shiny. It matches the intake. So, yeah. Yeah. Like, it's so much better. Okay. Did I put... Speaking of... Yeah, I did not. Okay. I took the, I knew I forgot something over here. I took the radiator off because I was trying to do a picture earlier for my YouTube page. For a custom, thumbnail, that's what they call it. So let's get this car raised up. And we're going to go ahead and put on our performance parts for the transmission. Performance clutch. Performance pressure plate. I don't believe there's a throwout, but there might have been a throwout bearing. We'll see. Nope. And the same old regular V8. And a stock starter. Put on our headers, or I should say our mufflers. And our drive shaft. Don't forget to put the oil in it, because I'm sure I'll forget. Okay, so now we get the car completely finished, 100%. Yeah. Let's go ahead and lower the car. We're going to put some oil in it. And then we're going to take the stock car over first. And then we're going to do an experiment. And I don't know how well the experiment's going to work, but we're going to find out. So what I want is a baseline of this engine, which is what this car's for. So let's go ahead and move this car on over to the dyno room. So move to dyno. I love that green, by the way. Came up with that last night because this car was a darker green. And I said, I like the green, let's stay with it. And I put on a tan, not a tan, but a dark medium wood finish steering wheel. And I said that these seats are begging to be brown. But unfortunately, they don't really make a great seat that fits these cars. And to do that brown or even tan the carpeting and the dash would need to be changed, which I can't fix that. So I decided just to leave it black. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and do a quick dyno run with this particular car. Keep in mind, this is a regular 306 horsepower, 2-barrel carbureted overhead valve V8 engine. Nothing fancy. There's no performance parts. There's no nothing. We should have 0 loss, which tells me I should have 306 horsepower. So that's going to be our baseline that we're going to get. And you compare it to the performance side. But what we're going to do is we're going to crunch some numbers and do some math before we throw the other car on the dyno, so we can get an estimate of what I would expect that car to do. So we're at 306 horsepower, so remember that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the performance parts, and we're going to write down everything that we had purchased for this vehicle. So I don't have anything really handy because I just came up with this on the fly. So let's get my calculator out on my computer. Yes, we're using a calculator. And I hit calendar instead of calculator. Calculator. There we go. Go over there, out of my way. So we have an alternator, which, oh, this is not going to work. Okay, I need a pen. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Let me grab a pen, pencil, crayon, whatever I can find. Okay, so we have we have an alternator that is going to give us 1.5 horsepower. Sorry, the 2-year-old apparently is cranky now, and I don't know why. The camshaft is going to be 2.75. The carburetors are going to give us 12% each. A new clutch is going to give me 1.75. A pressure plate is 0.9. We have 2 sets of heads, which is 9% each. We have an exhaust manifold of 0.8 each, so we're going to need 2 of those. Yeah, that's right so far. A new flywheel. That was 3.25. A fuel filter, which is 0.6. A fuel pump, which is 1.5. A new ignition coil, which is 4%. A distributor, which is at 5. A new cap, which is 1.5. A rotor at 0.5. Wiring, which gives me 1. Intake manifold, which is 2.75. New pistons, so 1.125 times 8. 1.125, 1.125. 1.125, 1.125. A new power steering pump, which is 1.12. Wait a minute, sorry. That's 1.25. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. I wanted this one. Okay. That's 1.5. A new air filter, which is 1.2. 0.125 times 8. And that's it. Okay, so now I need to add all this up, and unfortunately, I didn't like Alt-Tab out and back and forth to do this, because there's a ton of parts that I needed to do, and for me to go back and forth, it closes out my screen, so I just figured I would write it all down. 0.75, 0.9, 9, 9, 0.8, 0.8, 3.25, 0.6, 1.5, 4, 5, 1.5, 0.5, 1, 2.75, 1.2, 1.125, 1.125, 1.125, that's 1, 2, 3, 1.125, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, that should be 8, so 1.5, 1.2, and then 0.125, 0.125, 0.125, 0.125, that's 4. That gives us 83.3. So let's write that number down. So 83.3%. Now if I take 306 and divide that by 1 to give me a percentage, so that should be 3.06. So 306 divide that by 1. Well, wrong number. So divide that by 0.01. Why is this not working? Come on. 306. And I want to divide that into, well, let's just divide it into 100, which would be 3.06. So then if I divide that by, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so 3.06, I was right. So 3.06 is 1% of my horsepower. So according to my math, if I take 3.06 and times that by the 83.3, I'm going to gain an additional 254.898 horsepower. Now, let's add that to our 306, which is telling me that we should have approximately 560 horsepower. 898. So 560.898. Something tells me that this engine's not going to give us that, but according to my calculations and my math, if you want to see my wonderfully little cheat sheet, I'll throw it right up here in front of you so you can see it. Don't know if you can read it or if you cannot, but I did make a little cheat sheet. Right there is the 83.3, and over here roughly is going to be the 560.898 horsepower rating. So that's the goal that we're going to go for on the black car. So let's move this car out of the way. We'll move that to lift A to move it. Let's go grab the fully tuned up version. We're going to move this car to the dyno. If we can get this horsepower rating out of this car, I'll be shocked. Yeah, I'm not even going to the status of this car to check to see what the quote-unquote supposed to be horsepower. Actually, it's going to tell me as soon as I hit dyno anyway. Never mind. I was going to say, I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to do. So yeah, this is still saying 306 horsepower. So it's giving me the factory rating for this particular horsepower. Because that's what the block is designed for, is 306 horsepower. So with every new part, all the performance parts, we're going to go ahead and start the dyno, and we're going to see what kind of horsepower we got for a difference from the old one to the engine. So remember, the old one was 306 horsepower and 538. So according to my math, I was coming out with a calculation of 560 horsepower. So we were off by 3, which I guess could have been a human error factor on my end on math, or we just happened to get a couple more horsepower than what it actually suggested. Yes, because it gave me 84.11%, and I calculated 83.3. So either I missed a part, or just happened to give me some more performance. So 563 horsepower and 967 foot-pounds of torque. Oh my gosh, this car should be a monster. Should be a monster. Keyword, should be. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with the stock car. I don't want to go gung-ho crazy with the fully modified one. And we're going to take this and we're going to go to... I don't really know yet. I want to take it somewhere. I guess we're just going to go to the airfield. Let's go to the airfield. So airport, and I want the green one. We're going to do a test drive. This is the stock car. Now they both have a set of slicks on the back, and they both have smaller tires on the front. Now they are not the same tires on the front. That is probably the only true difference that I'm going to get from one car to the other. I didn't think that part through when I decided that to do this project. So we'll start off with doing a couple donuts. One thing I love about this car is it will definitely do a donut. Got second gear rubber. This thing turns on a dime. It sits real flat and goes straight, which I love. Not like some of the other cars where they start getting all wobbly. Top speed on this car is 267 or 268 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour, I should say. But you notice, like, that was me turning, and it turns. So yeah, it wants to wobble a little bit, but that's to be expected at full throttle. Like, it doesn't get all curly and crazy on you, and, like, this is a sports car. Like, this thing sticks to the road, and it goes, and goes, and goes, and goes. Let's go ahead and we'll take this car on back, and we'll grab the black one, return to the garage. I can only imagine how much horsepower I'd get if I did the full tuning parts to this engine and slap on a ginormous like supercharger or something like that. You know what? We may end up having to get that Corvette out and doing an update for that Corvette. I'll have to see what kind of parts are available for it. Because if I can throw 83% horsepower increase on a supercharged engine, I might be able to push 1,000 horse, which would be kind of cool. Okay. Let's go back to the airport. We're going to take our fully modified 563 horsepower car. You can have it. Here. Do you want another piece? Here you go. Okay. So now we have our black car out here. I think it sounds a little different. I think it sounds a little deeper. Maybe it's me. So it's a chrome hood. Huh. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off by doing some donuts. Zoom out. Yeah, I can already tell a difference. This thing is going to be crazy. So doing some donuts, putting out some white smoke, and this sucker just lets it eat. So let's go ahead and straighten her out. Notice the second gear, third gear rubber. Yeah. This thing is awesome. Okay, let's back it on up. Let's see what kind of speeds we can get out of this thing on a quarter mile. So rev her up, let her eat, tater chip. So first gear, second gear rubber, third gear rubber, a little bit of smoke. 257 is what it was. So I actually lost a couple mile an hour. I don't know how, I guess that's the limitations on the gearing with the transmission. I don't know. It still turns real well. Like, I can't really get this car real, like, crazy like I can some other cars going around corners. It drives me absolutely bonkers. So, it definitely runs good. It picks up the speed a lot quicker than the other one. You can definitely tell it's got more horsepower. Stopping's going to be the same because nothing's changed there. Oh, don't hit the wall. Yep. So, we're going to call this video done. I think the tuning DLC, I think it's good. I think they could have done some changes to it to make some things a little bit better. That's just me. I'm always thinking outside the box, looking for some things that might be changed or could be modified. I'm hoping that they come out with a actual quarter-mile drag strip. Even if it's against computers, I would be fine with that. But really, I would love to see multiplayer online drag racing. I think that would be fantastic. And really, I think it would make the game... You would get a whole new level of customer base. Because right now, the game is just targeting towards the mechanical side of things. It's not really getting into the racing. So maybe if they unlocked like multiplayer racing online, like even with the road course, and then unlock the drag strip for multiplayer as well with the cars that you're building, I think that would be awesome. The question is then do you take the chance of, well, you have to turn body damage on and the wear and tear on the tires and wheels and the engine and stuff like that? And if you want my opinion, I say absolutely. That's the whole purpose of the game. Because right now, like, I'm level 30. I have enough money that I can pretty much buy any car that I want to buy. I'm at this point in the game where you can only have so much fun. And I'm just thinking, like, it would be an awesome development side that they could add that on there, like add a multiplayer DLC, charge $20 for it. I would absolutely buy it. So, am I stuck, really? Oh, I thought I was stuck. So, okay. So, we're going to wrap this video up. The tuning DLC part 2 going to be on YouTube. Probably later tonight, I might upload it. Yeah, I probably will. Part 1, which was yesterday's stream, was uploaded this morning. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever one it is that you guys like on the YouTube video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like the content. Hop over to the Twitch channel. Make sure you make, in addition to the follow tab, the bar that's going on the bottom of the screen down there. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. I would appreciate your guys' support. If you have any comments about the gameplay, about parts, about the cars, anything in general, feel free to hit me up anywhere. You can comment on the YouTube videos. You can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on Steam. My Discord link should be updated as well. So, yeah, you should be able to contact me just about any way you want to go. I'm easy to get along with, as you see. I play with everybody. Always looking to meet new people. Other than that, you guys have a great, fantastic day. I gotta go to work here in a couple hours, so I'm gonna keep streaming. So if you see this video, come over, say hi, come talk to me. Yeah, so we're gonna call this done. Thank you guys very much for your day. Have a great day, and thanks for your time. And we're gonna close this video out.